I've been coming to Puerto Williams for around about 10 years. And I have been making a habit of coming more or less annually in that time. And like everybody else, the pandemic got in the way of that. This is my first visit for nearly 2.5 years. I have collaborations here, most obviously with Tomorrow Contador, but I'm also formally a co-supervisor of several of the research students who do their research both here and in the South Shetland Islands and the Antarctic Peninsula. My first visit to Chile was in 2002. I work for an organisation called British Antarctic Survey. We, just like INACH, we run research stations in the Antarctic. And since the early 2000s, we've been using Punta Arenas as a gateway port to bring a lot of our people into the Antarctic. We're sitting here in Puerto Williams. If you look at the plants on top of the mountains here, a number of species of plants on top of the mountains are actually in common with the core subantarctic island. But equally, obviously, we have trees and bushes here, and they are species that are characteristic of the high southern latitude. And they actually have some very similar related species in southern New Zealand and in the New Zealand subantarctic islands. I'm very privileged to be here. It's a very long way from Britain. It's the last city as you head southwards. It gives access to the entire Magellanic subantarctic region. We're already in a position that if we made everything perfect now, it would still take many decades to centuries for the climate to recover. We're very close to a position where if we don't get it right now, it may never recover. And that is a very, very sobering warning, but that comes through very strongly from this report. The Antarctic Climate Change and the Environment Report. It's very readable. It's actually very sobering as well, because it tells us in pretty direct detail how the Antarctic climate is changing, how it is continuing to change, and how that influences the rest of the world. The Antarctic science community is one of the sort of most open and honest scientific communities I know. So an institute like BASE places the Chilean community in a much stronger position to make a real contribution to that international effort and to be recognised for doing so.